Welcome, gentlemen. BMX After Dark episode, whatever number it is. What's the topic of the evening?
So the topic for BMX After Dark 69 is BMX OnlyFans.
BMX OnlyFans. I would like to say that the opinions expressed here throughout do not necessarily reflect my own. Do not crucify me. And I'm now disclaimed.
Yeah, I would like to say.
Well, I will say that's a really. It's a really weird way to announce that you're having an OnlyFans, Brent. But okay, you know.
Well,
having an OnlyFans like it's a fucking bat mitzvah. What do you mean?
Everybody's doing it.
You're formally invited to my OnlyFans. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what the company after parties would be like.
Eyes wide shut.
Sticky.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
real, though.
To start off, okay, go ahead.
I was just going to say, obviously, everybody knows the reason that this is being made is because Garrett Reynolds posted on his Instagram page saying that he's now what appears to be riding for OnlyFans. He got a sticker on his bike. He was wearing a shirt. He was going to bat in the comments for OnlyFans, saying it's a canvas. And what you do with it is up to you. And it brought me back to a time in 2020 where someone from OnlyFans sent me an Instagram message trying to recruit me. And I don't know. I just thought it'd be a fun conversation to talk about because there's a lot you could talk about with this.
Oh, isn't Alex?
Do you want the quote?
What?
Do you want the statement from Reynolds or no? Because
yeah.
Sure.
Huh?
Let me pull it up on my screen too.
So
before you start reading it, let me just pull it up.
Doesn't Alex Donachie also?
Devin Smiley does.
Probably.
Devin Smiley does. All right, I have it up, Kevin.
Okay, so it says, super excited to announce I'm officially joining at OnlyFans. I'll be sharing exclusive behind-the-scenes content, trick tips, and health and wellness routines that keeps my body pushing. You won't find this anywhere else. It's free to subscribe. Link in the bio. So you can subscribe for free.
Well, there you go.
Interesting.
What are your opinions? Ready, set, go.
I feel like I need to look at this OnlyFans before I make some opinions because, like, is there why, besides the fact that they're giving him a check, does this need to be on OnlyFans? I mean, I understand that that's why. Like, that's the main reason. Like, he's getting paid. But, like, and that's a good thing. Like, BMXers getting money is a good thing before anything.
I burn everything.
Do we need to explain to anyone what OnlyFans is? I don't think
everybody knows. Noah, that's why I said no back in 2020 because I felt thought about it and I was like, well, I'm already doing everything I could possibly be doing and I'm doing it for free. So why I have no reason to do this.
Right. So it's for me, I understand that the reason it's happening is because Garrett is making himself sustainable, but as a BMX enjoyer, as me looking at this, I have zero desire for BMX to be adjacent to OnlyFans. I'm not saying that OnlyFans is detestable or what happens on that site is a sin. I'm just saying I don't need it in my sphere of influence. Like I don't need to fucking hear about it, So I don't really want to go on to OnlyFans. They could have free beer and fucking car shows on there. I don't really want to be there, to be honest.
So who is this for then? Who do you think it's for? Who do we think this is for?
I think we're jumping the gun a little bit here. If we look back a little bit, like history wise, initially, like I'm just doing a little research for you because I'm a fucking nerd. back when it originally started, like in around 2016, it was basically a platform for performers to directly monetize their content and interactions. So basically, like the pornography section of it was basically anything explicit was banned at that point. So it was more for like performers and, you know, think like cosplayers and like comedians and people to have like direct fan support, because things like YouTube and whatnot, I don't know if this predates Patreon, but like, you know, Brant, you were making some money off of YouTube, but if you could directly monetize yourself on another site, I think that was the initial intention.
Yeah.
But basically in 2017 is when they started allowing like the explicit content, and that's when it started to blow up. So
to follow up on that,
I think it's
to follow up,
go ahead.
Patreon was founded in May of 2013. OnlyFans was founded in November of 2016. It's
Okay.
interesting. It sounds like it was made to be an alternative to Patreon, and maybe
Patreon.
I have a Patreon. I've never I've never went deep into what I can actually like do with it, but I've seen what other people have, and I don't know if what they were trying to do on OnlyFans was like a better version of that, but I would say, to follow up on your reasoning for all of it existing, is because YouTube didn't offer a members like subscription based anything at that point. They do now. It's still super basic what you can do with it, but there is some stuff you can do with it. Twitch had subscribers, which literally just got you no ads and some emojis on Twitch.
Right.
And Instagram had nothing at that point, which they do have now.
So, a couple things. Like, Patreon has always been ancillary to something else. You get famous doing something else, and then that Patreon is almost like a tip me button. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, you don't know anybody from Patreon. Whereas I think OnlyFans was trying to be the, like, Instagram premium, where, you know, you're charging for that same kind of content, which I think is a joke just as a fucking idea, but it's what they were trying to do. And so my next point would be, I get the idea of being able to monetize content as far as BMX goes, but that's a space that we're kind of already like tiptoeing in BMX and have been for like quite a while. You get the like one man paid video parts, like it was just one man, like the Christian Regal, the he did one with
Nathan Williams.
There's
been a few of them,
right? And they honestly like did pretty well. And the thing with those, I forget the platform that they were distributed on, but it was a lot less proprietary than a OnlyFans. You know what I mean? Like they were distributing it and you downloaded it, you owned that copy. It wasn't uploaded to a platform. So I assume the cut that got taken out of that would have been a lot smaller. And it also felt a lot more grassroots, which I think in a thing like BMX, at least I would hope, would be important. I think that the idea is noble, that sort of, I'm going to go out, I'm going to film shit that's worth money, and then I need somewhere to put it to make money off of it. Like I like that idea. I think that shoehorning OnlyFans on top of that idea is, I don't like it. I don't know. Call me a hater.
But... Real quick. So it was in his caption that it was free. So is there anything on there? Well, I'm just trying to figure out like if there's anything on there that you would have to pay for to just try to figure out like because if it's all free, then what's the difference between that and like making a YouTube page?
It might be to drive traffic to that site.
That's exactly what it feels like.
So if they're gonna pay him, let's say $1,000 a month, like and it brings in traffic, those people are not just going to view him, they may veer off onto something else, but it's also driving site traffic, which is probably driving ad revenue and yada, yada, yada. So,
Geoff, you haven't said anything yet. Let's go.
Yeah, I made actually a phone call earlier when we brought up discussing this tonight of just even having like the point of where like you can have free content, but also like if you had the opportunity to occasionally be like, well, once a month I put out like a $3.99 video of some of my best, riding, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you deny another rider that?
Yeah.
Like one of those, like, oh yeah, it'd be really great if you could subscribe to me for free, but like once a month, if you feel like it for $2.99 or $1, whatever it is that because I've never used it, I've never downloaded, I've never opened it, so I don't know what the platform looks like. But if you had the option of like, hey, like once a month, I give you a 3-minute edit of some of my best riding that you guys get before I upload it next month to another platform. You know what I mean? Like, especially for somebody that's like Garrett or Alex Donahue, or like some of the other riders that, especially like that are up and coming onto that level, and they want to know what's coming next to stay, relevant. You know what I mean? Like that might be something that like they would particularly enjoy or monetize off of.
What that instantly does, if it works, and the Christian Regal, I think Trey Jones had one in that like mindset of paying for to see someone's best riding, it instantly does something that we don't even really do in BMX as an industry of bringing value to just the riding. Like, I want to see you ride and I want to see your best stuff so bad that I'm willing to pay a couple bucks to see this edit that you've been working on or whatever it might be. And other than like the negative like the negative aura around the platform it's on, I don't think that anybody could say that's a bad thing.
I disagree. Like, I think that it's the idea is a good thing, and I agree with you that bringing value to the riding is great. But it's just like, first off, I don't think the platform lends itself to what we want logistically. So I pay you like that sort of one rider monetized video part. I pay per view on the OnlyFANS platform, and then that video dies on fucking OnlyFans, or they just have to release it somewhere else anyways. In that case, why did we give a cut to OnlyFans if we're just going to release it somewhere else anyways? We could have put this on a different platform and not gave money to the man. And also, how like I know the answer to what I'm about to say, but like we're just doing video parts but different now, where used to, if we wanted to see like we wanted to give money to see riders' best stuff, we would wait years and years and years, and then the company would release a DVD and we'd all go out and buy it. And the world doesn't work like that anymore, I understand, but
right.
just because the world doesn't work like that anymore, we're not trying to find, but the industry is adjusting to deliver the things that we want. I'm trying to say this and not sound like a moron, but like,
No, you're
right. So like we're in this sort of like transfer zone where we're looking for things that work. And I thought that the one-man video parts, like the monetized stuff, or even like Project X, how was that distributed? That was working, but it wasn't quite polished. I don't think OnlyFans is going to deliver the polish to really get that across the line. You know what I mean? If anything, I think it's taken a step back. Like, to put it on a
So
proprietary site, it seems like the exact opposite of what I wanted out of those products.
I want to address two things. So you asked why give OnlyFans the cut. That's because OnlyFans is paying Garrett for exclusivity, if that's the idea there. Logistically, that just makes sense. So the other thing to say to what you're saying is that everything has to start somewhere, and maybe this Jory's had a Patreon. I don't know if he still has it, but he was posting videos on there. He had people who were part of it. Devin being on here and whoever else could be a jumping off point where people are like, okay, Garrett's doing it this way, Devin's doing it this way, George is doing it this way. I'm going to try this way. And an idea that I had while you were going on all of that is that maybe what we should see is like companies stepping up and being like, all right, we're going to make this edit. And to watch this edit, we're going to put it on our site as a digital for sale item and sell it on our website. And I'm kind of struggling when I thought of that idea. I just was like, how has that not happened yet?
Right, because that's the idea. What you were saying was like OnlyFans, the reason OnlyFans gets the cut is because they're willing to give Garrett the money to sustain himself to put that content out there.
Assuming, we're assuming that, obviously.
Right,
yeah.
assuming.
We're just assuming that.
That takes the place of what the company used to do back in the fucking glory days. Like the company used to pay him a wage and used to pay them a wage and they would go ride, like the riders just generically, and then we would buy sick ass DVDs, you know.
And that could bring back real quick. I just want to get the idea out before I lose it. That could bring up the idea of like, think about gaming organizations and how the people who are gamers go to these organizations, and then the organizations are reaching people and it goes outward from there. That could bring BMX companies to more of a organizational level where like what you just said, companies used to pay riders so much per month, and then they went out and rode their bike and they made videos and whatever. Well, if we could get a model that would work like this, where people were paying to see videos from these companies, maybe they had their own video player on their website, whatever it looks like, you pay $3.99 a month as a subscription to S&M TV, and you can watch everything S&M has ever made. And when a new video comes out, and then in turn, S&M as the organization takes some of that money and pays the riders to make the stuff that goes onto that. Which is basically what it feels like OnlyFans is doing if they're paying people like Garrett and Devin.
All right. So to Noah's point, back in the day, yes, you used to have like DVD released, wait for it. Attention span has gotten way shorter. People want to see it now. So the production time on stuff like that, there are certain projects and videos that are definitely an exception to the norm. So basically, we have to feed the immediate need. To Brant's point about posting it up exclusively to download, I believe it was Sunday's Grow Up video was like a paid download through someone, but I honestly can't remember like what the site or what the
service,
the download program was, what the service was.
A lot of companies have done digital downloads for full-length videos, but not like single videos. Right. So I'm thinking that this may be a way to have kind of like a YouTube centralized hub for, it's like, you know, S&M doesn't have to have their own thing over here, and Sunday doesn't have to have their thing over here, and so doesn't have to have this over here. This, it's like if someone's following Garrett, theoretically the algorithm should say, also check out this guy, also check out this guy. So if just S&M had it on their site, yeah, you're going to see all the S&M content, but are you going to see anybody out here on the fringe? Yeah. It's like, this might be a way to have like, okay, I'm following Garrett, but now I'm following this guy. And well, like, it's like, ooh, there's a clip over here. I should check this guy out. So, which is in theory what Instagram and YouTube should be doing. But I mean, who's making money off Instagram?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, in the wrong way, like the guys that are making it money on, not in the wrong way, but in a different way than what we're talking about. The guys that are making money on Instagram are doing the paid promotion type thing, which is
right.
It's its own thing.
Yeah, but, it's a totally separate thing. Geoff, you haven't talked in a while.
You know what? I'm like, after sitting here and like, Noah's made some very good points, and like I've called a few people that I won't name because this is a weird topic, but like I've had a few conversations this week about how like this might be like something really cool for BMX, but at the same time this might be another I hate to say it. I know I said it earlier, but like an Etnies thing or like a Levi's thing, where like this might be really cool for BMX for a little bit, but then like I don't know how susceptible we all are to subscription services in BMX. You know what I mean? Like everything is a subscription now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, like I know I'm a little bit older. I'm the second oldest in this chat room right now, but I'm like getting really sick of subscription services.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like
Well,
it's just
you don't want
following
to
with,
you don't want to subscribe to Odyssey so your gyro works.
but like like
You're
if I
gonna cut
subscribe to
off.
Odyssey, I want to go see what Nuno's working on in the lab of like, you know what I mean? Like
That
I
could
want to
be a
go see
thing.
prototype stuff that they're working on. You know, I wanted to see that 2-section MTB tube before anybody else did. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of stuff I would be into. But like when it comes straight down to riding, like there's so many other platforms that are already oversaturated with this, and like to give me one that would kind of optimize me to either subscribe for free but then to pay for certain content, like all of you guys know, like just like Project X this last week, like I paid for that DVD, but now like as a week ago I could watch it for free anytime, and now I don't even, it's
Yeah.
like for action sports I just don't want like we need outside sources to help monetize riders that we have. You know what I mean? Like especially really talented riders. I would even dare to say riders that are underpaid and over talented. But now we're getting into like gambling on that. You know what I mean? Like how do I know that like I'm not going to get on here and start following some of my favorite riders, and then the content that I get is just going to be, I paid $3.99 for it, and a month later, it's just going to be posted on their Instagram, and you know what I mean? Like I theoretically could sit and wait that month. I'm not like in a rush to see another Smith Nose bar out of somebody. Like
A lot of the Patreon stuff like is, you get it exclusive. Like it usually drops on Tuesday, you get it on Sunday. So I guess there are people that are willing to pay that little extra premium to get stuff early, but it's like, is it enough to justify?
But would we be getting that clientele from inside BMX or outside BMX?
Well,
That's
that's
the thing.
part
It's
of
like, are we still pulling from that same little pool like we're always pulling
Or
from? So.
or are we just passing money around internally?
I would think that the ultimate goal would be that by using the platform of OnlyFans, you can bring in part of their audience. I have no idea how their algorithms work or if they're even recommending similar people to what you're looking at when you're on there, but the ultimate goal would be to use that platform and what is built there to bring people from it to us, that if like, and we got to consider too the resources that it takes to keep something like that going and develop it in the first place. And if a platform already exists that does that, that's why no one's beat YouTube yet, because YouTube is so mature in its existence that they've gone through everything. Like the copyright system alone is going to keep so many other potential platforms from ever even existing because of what they have to do to even be able to let people post videos online.
YouTube killed 4 other video hosting websites, companies.
And it wasn't even the fact that it was YouTube doing anything. It was what YouTube
they tried to
offered.
come into that space. Yeah, and YouTube already killed it.
Yeah, YouTube owns that space, so it makes it really difficult. And
YouTube also has like, it has such a wide berth. It's like your kids can watch stuff, your parents can watch stuff. There's literally something for everybody on there. It's like whether you want to watch BMX videos, you want to watch like how do I fix my carburetor. It's like it's everything. It's ubiquitous at this
Turn
point.
screw
So.
till chug stop. That's how you fix a carburetor. It's pretty easy.
And don't get me wrong. Like I want to support riders.
That's
like,
what I was just going to bring up.
Do. I don't want to like not support riders, but like from like a third party point of view, like I do that via following the people that I want to follow on Instagram. I do that by buying parts from companies that like I want to actually support, and I just don't want it to come off as like, but like supporting a rider directly. I'm all about it, and if I had a platform to do it, like I'd have to, balance the checkbook out here a little bit. But I feel like I'm already doing that through what I purchase, what I like to view, what I like to support. Like even just stories in general. Like I try to find some. All of us share. The riding. Like I probably share 50 videos a week between the group chat that we're in of just like watching cool, unique stuff. And like making sure you guys see it, and like we can comment on it, and like the interaction with it is very good. But like, what if I don't want to share a video I paid $3.99 for with Noah?
Yeah.
Are you even going to be able to? Because like the world is on Instagram, basically, at least inside of BMX. Besides a few people.
Well-
It's the largest action sports platform out of all the social medias.
What,
Like if you go on TikTok, there you don't get, like, if there are BMXers on there, my algorithm stays forever, goat videos, the entire time, no matter how many BMXers I follow. And
Never downloaded it,
So what
And
we're
realistically, I mean, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we do have to recognize in this whole conversation that the whole idea of this is direct support to certain riders. And this is something that I've talked about in the past. Whenever the first couple videos came out where it was like, oh, you pay blank 99 for this specific person's edit that they've worked on for 4 years. And I think that might be the way that we need to look at this and what's going on, in that just because a Garrett Reynolds OnlyFans or a Devin Smiley OnlyFans exists, and just because there's a video on there every month that might be $3.99 or there's an edit on there, does not mean that everyone, like, we all have to subscribe to it. It means that the people who are fans enough and do want to see that stuff enough have an option to be able to directly support. It's an avenue. It opens up a totally new avenue for these people to be able to make money from direct support from their fans, which doesn't really exist outside of that unless you make a Venmo and you put it out there like, hey, if you want to pay me because you liked my edit, you can send me $20 or whatever. And so in the future, what it'll be is that probably there will be more people who have different avenues to directly support. And then you'll be able to pick and choose like, hey man, that edit kicked ass. I want to throw this dude a subscription for a month.
Okay. I mean, and you also got to figure, like most of us only have so much money to kick around.
Right.
So like we're back in the day where you could, throw down for a magazine subscription, and it was like, between that and between the advertiser dollars, those guys were able to make money. That doesn't exist anymore. So now it's like Noah said, the industry has shifted. Now they're trying to just figure out like where can they pull a revenue stream from, and it's like, I think some of the writers are like, well, if I can go direct to the fans, but it's like,
now you're cutting out. Yeah, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. Like, well, no, but to some
degree, no, but to some degree, yes. But it's like you're also pulling from, like, if they're going to be on OnlyFans, they're going to be an adult with a credit card. You're not going to be pulling from like young fans. Like, could you imagine like little Jimmy saying like, "Hey, mom, it's like I need $3.99 a month for OnlyFans." Whoa.
Yeah, but
it's
so like that. So the idea is like Brant was saying, you want to support a rider directly because you enjoy their riding. They get you stoked on BMX. You really like them. However you want to feel about it. That money like the way you used to do that was buying their parts. You would see an edit, you'd be like, holy shit, that was awesome. I want to ride rainbow colored Aaron Ross parts now, and you would go buy fucking keyboard grips.
To touch base on that real quick, it was mainly because like, hey, Like these guys, they have phenomenal riders. It means that their parts are going to work for me.
Right.
But at the same
And-
time, not everybody in BMX can have signature parts, and also the royalties that come from signature parts. Like, you have to sell a shit ton of grips or a shit ton of frames or anything to make any kind of real amount of money. And
What,
BMX
25 cents a grip, right?
I don't know the numbers, but BMX doesn't have enough parts availability. You can't make 15 signature grips for all of your riders. So like, if this could be an option, it's like, well, why not make this potentially be an option? And the people who do want to wait to see it for free on YouTube or Instagram later, then sure, they can wait and watch that. But if people do want to pay to see it when it comes out, then like, why not?
That to me sounds like there's a problem in the way our industry is functioning. The fact that that's a thing
Oversaturation.
Right. The fact that that's a thing that we are looking for means that something is broken at its core. Like, the way it should work is like, riders ride for company, me buy parts from company, so rider ride more like that. And I understand you're saying that not every rider rides for a company. You want to support them. I understand that. I guess I'm going all the way to the top of the pyramid.
Money goes from you to company, from company to rider. So yeah.
Right. And Brant's saying that there's a middle section of the pyramid where maybe rider is not under company, so you want to funnel it straight to them, I guess. But I mean, I don't fucking got it like that, you know?
Some people do.
Some people do. Yeah. And I mean, it exists. I don't know. Not for me. I had another thought, but then I got all bummed out because OnlyFans is in.
Well, now we're getting into like BMX has never been oversaturated as it ever has. You know what I mean? Like that's another reason why like what we talked about on the last one of like minus Chenga, the one before Chenga, of like would riders from back in the day be able to compete with riders now? And the general consensus was because right now we are sitting in an incredibly oversaturated industry of like between AMs, pros, semi-pros, you know, guys you want to support that are kind of like aged out, but like are still shredding and like, you know, it's kind of like if I subscribed and if I just subscribe for free, but then paid for paid content on this platform for every rider that I truly wish I, you know, could support, I'd go broke.
Well, that's
You know,
why. That's the same thing.
How do you choose, you know?
But that's no different than picking the part that's on your bike, because you can only ride one sprocket. You can only ride one set of grips. So you pick who you can and want to support in that. Like, if it's one guy.
Then we're just gatekeeping the sport via a social media platform.
Not necessarily. It's based on
certain...
that's how being a pro should be chosen, by who people want to see. And if you decide with your money who you want to see, then that's no different. And right now we're in a world of BMX where it's not necessarily decided who rides for companies based on who people want to see. It's based on who's friends with who's said enough nice things to the company guy and convinced them that their 3,000 followers is enough to be able to sell some parts.
Or really just like where you're at, you know?
Yeah.
There's so much ground now, but like being able to see everything at once has almost made the world smaller in that, like, yeah, I've seen 8-10-year-olds do a double tail whip this week on Instagram. Which one of them do I send a bike to? Probably none of them. I'm probably going to pick Connor, who's down the street, you know? I know he's a good dude, and he can double tail whip too, so...
And which one of them already has a nicer bike than you do?
And
I'm not saying, like, you know, it's like if you're going to give them a bike, it's like they're going to be like, no, I already got a custom such and such. It's like, oh, okay.
Let's take it a step further and ask the question of now this, let's just say this platform matures and a lot of people have avenues to directly support, and they're giving something of value to the people who are giving them money in return for it. Now let's ask the question, what do they do with that money? And then we'll see the people who are clever, business savvy, whatever, starting to use the money that they make from this direct support to maybe they go on a trip and they ask their people who support them, like, where do you want to see me go, and make videos exclusively for you to see a month before they end up going out to the general public.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
But
it's
I also truly feel that any rider that's going to get to that level already has that opportunity.
Yeah, but I don't think people in BMX, I don't think very many people who have that opportunity are looking at it beyond like, I'm going on trip, gonna ride my bike, do the best tricks I can, and it's gonna make the best video it can. But whenever you put the direct support and you're in control of that money and you're asking the people where they want you to go, or you're getting that direct connection to them, it's a little bit different than being like, all right, where are we going to decide to go, and I'm just going to ride.
Yeah, well,
I
the YouTube already does that. We watch Dennis do that, monthly.
Yeah, so, and I'm sure
Well,
Dennis could
like a Collier trick kind of thing back in the day. Like, I don't know how back in the day it was, but like YouTube Live or Instagram Live, it's like, hey, like call out the tricks and stuff like that. But monetize it? Is that what we're thinking? Like,
anything, any kind of avenue.
Instagram slams.
Yeah, those were a thing. But like, think about Dennis and what he's doing. How many people, because of how sick that stuff was, like the Game of Bike thing, how many people, if it was on a different platform, would have been like, yeah, I'd pay $5 to see that a week before everyone else?
My biggest issue
a month,
issue with the whole thing is that we have to give OnlyFans a cut of this.
Well, somebody's got to develop a
that's
different
my
platform
big
then.
Yeah, somebody's always getting a cut. Instagram's getting a cut. Patreon's getting a cut.
I think
S&M would get a cut. So
this is a new world mentality. Like BMX never needed fucking platforms.
Yeah, but
all the dudes that we looked up to were burning fucking VHSs in their parents' living room.
But at the same time,
we're
Noah,
begging OnlyFans.
props existed. Props,
smiling, I love it.
Props had to make money to be able to make those videos. They got their cut of it. And the companies who develop DVDs, they take their cut of the DVD, like returns, to pay for other trips. Kevin's right. Everyone has. There's always been a cut.
There's always.
I don't think they were paying a production company to cut DVDs until pretty late. I mean, in the beginning, I think old Chris Rye was taking disc, putting it in the burn stack, dude. I don't like.
He was taking money for that too. Like he wasn't getting nothing.
It was his fucking company. He took all the money.
So I'm gonna make a small argument here, and it's gonna be in Noah's favor, which is a rarity for me. But we had. So if you think of the early 2000s, and like we had like Dave Maris Freestyle BMX, and there was like Miracle Boy and Nyquist, like we had a really good competitive to other action sports way to monetize our riders to like create, a very good well-being for a lot of riders. And then that fell short at some point during social media, but like that could still work and do its job.
How?
Like that whole, like what they used to become what they were still will work. We just choose to ignore it because of social media platforms saying that now the time is different. But when it's, when it comes down to it, we still have BMX on TV. We still have BMX on the internet. We still want to know our pros, like maybe at a personal level or see what they're doing. Like we still have access to do all these things to create these characters and amazing riding that has already happened. But like now we're kind of falling short we're almost succumbing to these platforms telling us that the times are changing when we had a perfectly good platform to do all of these things on.
The difference was like a Miracle Boy and Nyquist. That was the product. That there was a media company, a communications company that came in. And they said, we want to make a DVD about Miracle Boy and Nyquist, and they sold the DVD. That was the product.
Did they get any money
with the
for that?
OnlyFans thing, OnlyFans is the product, and they're using our niche community to sell OnlyFans. it's piggybacking onto us to gain like a fucking tentacle. You know
I
what
have
mean?
a rebuttal.
Hang on.
I would hope
An add
so.
on
I would
Noah,
hope
so.
so.
I have a rebuttal to
So-
that.
I'm not your fucking billboard. BMX is. I don't want to see a
Noah.
OnlyFans sticker on your bike.
Noah, we were the billboard for TV. We were the billboard for
1-800
NBC.
collect.
No, we were the billboard for NBC and anyone who and ESPN who hosted
Grant,
X
you're
Games
right.
and NBC.
But
It
they
was the
weren't-
same
they
exact
weren't
thing.
using BMX.
Noah,
No,
hang
hold
on.
Hear me out.
Noah. Oh, okay, go ahead.
So, BMX was the product. They weren't going like, "Oh, check out ESPN. We got BMX." They were like,
They didn't
"You're
have
coming
to. That was the only
ESPN.
place to watch
Here's
it.
BMX." Right, that's the difference.
That's why.
People were
That's why
already
it's the
at
same.
ESPN.
That's why
But
it's the
Noah,
same.
It's not the same at all. None of us have an OnlyFans. None of us have an OnlyFans.
Oh, hang on. If I could go out to my garage and pull the magazines right now, I'm going to pull a magazine. I'm going to pull up Chris Doyle's bike
Mm-hmm.
with
and it's got all the stickers on it.
with 1-800-COLLECT on it. So there's your billboard.
Slim Jim.
With Slim Jim, with Right Guard, with Toyota or Ford. It's like what we had back then. This is going back to like Jeff's thing, where we had like Dave Mirra BMX and like Hoffman BMX on PlayStation, whatnot. We had a ton of outside money getting thrown at this sport, which was great because you basically like if you're only pulling from the same pool of BMX every single time, you're pulling from this finite pool of monies where it's like when they were pulling in like 1-800-COLLECT money and like freaking deodorant money, like those are corporations that were just writing checks and paying riders whatever they were paying them, which was great. These guys were able to make a living by sustaining themselves from outside the industry.
Hold on.
So
Hold
that
on,
1-800-COLLECT sticker wasn't trying. That 1-800-COLLECT sticker wasn't trying to change how I interacted with BMX, though.
Right.
Where OnlyFans is. Like, I want Slim Jim to put money in BMX. I want 1-800-COLLECT stickers back. They were pumping money in, and that was great. Okay, OnlyFans is pumping money in. I can get behind that. I said that at the top of the show.
Right.
Like, I'm down for BMXers making money. That's a positive thing. I just don't think that OnlyFans is the path forward, and that's where I jump off. It's like, it's great that they want to pump money into the sport. What the fuck are they doing for us? Fuck all, basically.
yeah.
Well, hang on.
Well, I mean,
hang on.
But that's the thing. Like, who has the money nowadays? It's the OnlyFans. It's the Amazon. It's like there's not a lot of companies that are willing to throw money at things. So.
I need to explain why it happened the way that it did and why all of that was a thing. It's because they had full exclusivity to those things. X Games could only be seen on TV at that moment in time, and everyone who wanted to watch it tuned in, and that's why they could get that 1-800-COLLECT or Slim Jim money. Hang on, I need to finish my whole point before we move on.
Go ahead.
Well, no, Geoff was raising his hand.
Point.
But
You're cooking.
it was exclusivity that they were paying for, and people were striving to be on there for that. And then you had competing networks. So you had Do Tour and X Games on two different TV networks that were vying for people's eyeballs, and that instantly brings competition, which they're bringing more people in, and that's the only place you can see it. Well, today, there is no exclusivity. It's everywhere and anywhere you could possibly post something, it exists.
Mm-hmm.
So why it's no different is because OnlyFans or Patreon or YouTube members, those platforms exist for exclusivity so that if X person wants to see it, they pay because they're trying to get into that exclusive thing that can only be seen there. And that's where the money comes from, and why OnlyFans really isn't any different. And I think, because you keep saying, I don't want to see it on OnlyFans, whatever. I don't think we're the target for that.
No, not at all.
I don't think we're the people
No.
that they're trying to get with it. I think they're trying to get other types of people onto that platform.
And so what you're saying with the exclusivity, 100% right. I 100% agree. They had X Games exclusive. We're talking about exclusivizing a fucking flat ledge combo. Like, it's not the scale. It is the same thing in principle, but the scale is so different that it molests the idea.
And the reason
You know what
for
I mean?
that is because it's up to the person who's participating in the platform, Garrett Reynolds in this example, to make the thing that people want to see so badly they're willing to pay that $4. If it's just a shitty flat ledge that he does a crazy combo on, if people want to pay to see that and that's how it ends up working, then awesome for them. But it's what it's going to take for someone like Noah to sign up for an OnlyFans and be like, all right, you got my $4, is a little bit more effort than just that. And it's going to be up to those people.
It's not even just effort. Like, we're talking about one rider starting an OnlyFans versus two corporations, X Games and ESPN, having a contract. Like, we're not even in the same ballpark here, where that money that was coming into BMX was generational level money, and now we're talking about paying $3 for a fucking clip.
And what you have to think bigger. You got to think bigger than this. If Garrett Reynolds has this OnlyFans page and he gets 10,000 people to buy this $4 thing, and he gets that data and those analytics, he can then go to Slim Jim and be like, yo, look, 10,000 people wanted to see this video so bad that they paid $4 for it. If you give me money, I'll put a Slim Jim sticker on my helmet. And that is why it's the same thing. It's just in today's day and age, it's not TV time. It's analytics and numbers and the people recognizing it and taking advantage of it that way.
I just don't think that scales. So now everybody that wants to be a Blockbuster Pro has to go through that same path. We're going to run out of users and dollars. What I'm saying is, like, a rising tide raises all ships. Like, yes, that works for the one rider, but, like, why are we angling it at the bottom of the pyramid? Shouldn't we be trying to get the companies on this subscription platform? Like, shouldn't we be facing the dollars to the top and letting them trickle down instead of trying to force them up the pyramid?
When you say companies, do you mean BMX companies or other? I'm just trying to understand. I mean, like when you say trying to get...
What I'm saying is... Yeah, so what I'm saying is the money used to come in from the corporate level. It used to be big company shoots BMX company money, and then it runs down throughout the industry. And now we're all the way, like, the only time we talk about money is at the base of the pyramid. Like, how are we going to get pro number 37 his paycheck? You know what I mean?
Did corporate companies pay BMX companies at any point in time to, like, sponsor their team?
Levi.
Yeah.
Fender.
That's a team.
Like,
Levi had a team.
Nike.
But no.
Nike had a team.
To Noah's point.
Yeah, so
like
they pumped that money into BMX,
but not a company to trickle it down.
So it didn't go straight to a BMX company.
You're completely on the right path. Inside. You're completely on the right path.
Right.
Like, nowadays, it's like, Geoff, Noah, Brant, why aren't you supporting your rider directly? Whereas back in the day, this is going into old man times, like when everybody watched TV, like TV was your media driver. There was no YouTube. There was videos on the internet, but Geoff's probably old enough to remember, like, trying to download stuff on the internet back in the day, real slow. So everybody watched TV. So those networks had a monopoly on your eyeballs. So ESPN, it wasn't just because they were, like, showing X Games. They had money from all of ESPN to spend, and it was probably divvied out. There were advertiser dollars. Like, advertisers spent their money on TV because they knew that if they advertised during the X Games, they were going to reach millions of eyeballs and a cattail.
Can I explain why this doesn't work today?
Well, of course it doesn't work today.
Internet.
Because the internet has splintered us off into, like, every single little niche direction. Whereas, like, we used to have, like, kind of like a shared collective consciousness of, like, of culture, where now it's like, I can guarantee you, there's 4 of us here. All of our Instagram feeds, all of our YouTube feeds are highly specific to what we like. Like what Brant is seeing on his feed is completely different than mine, is completely different than Geoff's, is completely different than Noah's. So it's like we may get some crossover, but everything is so segmented now that basically, I'm sorry where I'm going with this. I'm kind of going off on a tangent now, but it's like, it's basically come down to, it's like, well, it's your responsibility. You're the one that has to pay for this now, not, advertisers don't want to take the risk anymore unless they know it's a guaranteed thing.
So I'll explain the difference here. From a marketing perspective, the reason why this is all different is because X Games, ESPN getting huge corporate amounts of money for X Games and whatever, it's similar to the organization concept that I brought up earlier, in that the value they're getting for that money gives them access to a much larger pool of people and eyeballs, where the way people look at it today is, Geoff, you're next. The way people look at it today is, like you're saying, like individuals. Well, the individual can't bring that value. And what I was saying about the companies being similar to like gaming orgs is that you'll see a gaming organization get sponsored by Mercedes or whatever, car company, whatever. That means their whole team is now sponsored by that, and their whole team and all of the people who watched them now in turn are promoting that bigger company, giving them value and a reason to do that. Whereas today, when it's down to the individual rider, these bigger companies are only going to go with people like Nigel Sylvester or Billy Perry or whoever have built a large enough pool of eyeballs to make it worth it for them.
Mm-hmm.
Geoff,
we need a riders union.
I'm going to take a minute. I'm going to give you a cup. I'm going to give you a cut point for this. So, Brant, in 2020, why didn't you say yes to this?
Because I didn't have anything that I felt would be of value to people who would want to like pay money to pay me money to have exclusivity for, because I was making tips and tricks videos already for free on my channel. And I wasn't willing to compromise what I was willing to do for free on my YouTube channel to try to make money from people through exclusivity on another platform.
So they weren't asking you for anything spicy, were they?
No.
So from a professional rider's standpoint, why would I expect anything less from the people that I also look up to as well as you?
What do you mean?
Like why would, like, if that was your mentality, because if there was monetarily something thrown on the table, I'm already supporting, you know what I mean? Like if you look through my Instagram, I follow like 1,000 people, probably 999 of them are BMXers.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I'm already like, I lost my train of thought here for a minute, but I'm having one of those where I'm like, why would I expect more from this platform that I'm kind of even scared to put on my phone? You know, because of its like risque past.
It's
in order to support more of, in order to support more riding in another widely vast left fielder from where I'm already comfortable with using.
So the answer to that question is up to the rider on that platform to make something so compelling or so good or whatever it might be that it is worth it for you to take your money and subscribe and get that. It's not like a larger concept that anyone can blanket generalize. It's just down to, if that rider makes something that you feel confident enough that you want to see, then you'll do it. If they don't, well, then it's going to fail.
Would you, if you got the call today, are you hopping on OnlyFans, Brant?
I already have YouTube members which I would rather have people go to YouTube members than, and the reason for that is because it's the platform I'm already on. And I just, it would take them giving me money. It would take a certain amount of money for me to be like, okay, they're paying me this much a month. That amount is worth it for me to be like, hey, platform of so many people I've built on this website, I'm going to do something on a different website. For someone like Garrett, that totally makes sense because he hasn't already built that YouTube platform that's paying him for what he makes. He's just got his Instagram and other things. But for me, I have a YouTube platform and an algorithm that's already turning, that if I take away from that, if I'm not making money, then it doesn't make any sense for me to do that.
So what you're saying is, for the right price,
Behold.
If it ain't making dollars, it ain't making sense. So OnlyFans is for BMX riders that have no idea how to edit footage.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could say that like I was profound enough, or that's probably not even the right word, but like I had hard enough principles to where I'd never take the OnlyFans check. Not that they would ever, like, obviously I'm not in this sphere, but like I get it from a personal point of view where it's like,
So
fucking, I gotta pay bills, dude. Like, if OnlyFans wants to give me X amount of dollars a month, I'm gonna take it. But the core BMX rider in me looks at it, and it's like, without the money involved. I just said, I understand.
So Noah, that makes a good platform. Are they looking for more users to absorb content, or are they looking for more users to start creating content on that platform?
Either way, what for me is like a diehard, like a lifer, what is this bringing to our space? You know, like,
yeah,
we can't look at it. So I feel like we can't look at OnlyFans as the like bad guy for that. I feel like if it does absolutely nothing, that would be whoever the person on the platform's fault is, because you could think if as long as your brain is in that space, you could be like, all right, guys, I'm gonna make this video, and when you support this video, I'm gonna take all of that money and I'm gonna use it to host a jam, and then we're gonna make a video from that jam, we're gonna live stream it, whatever, and if you then put more and like feed to keep it going, and then that could be a thing that could actually help BMX.
That's just riders having money, and like I think we're all pro riders having money. To me, like the best case scenario in this, like from OnlyFans point of view, the best case scenario, we get riders on the platform, they start making money, and then now we have some sort of BMX foothold on OnlyFans. Like, that sounds like a bad deal. Now we've got this half OnlyFans, half Instagram setup. I got to go to OnlyFans to look at BMX shit. Like, I don't want that. To me, personally, the best case scenario is the riders get the bag and then OnlyFans fucks off. Like,
so I have a question then. What's the alternative where anything like that is any different? So we talk about a big corporate company coming in, and they're only going to be paying individual riders these days. Even if they paid a company, it's still only going to help that company and the individual riders. Nothing that happens from that, unless the rider or person involved says, I'm not doing this with you unless you do something like donate bikes, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, what could possibly happen to make it help BMX in the way that you're criticizing it for not?
I don't think it exists. That's why I don't want them in the space. That's what I'm saying.
That's not an argument for it.
I also don't feel like this is going to be a way to pull in new riders. Like,
it's not going to pull in casual fans. Just right.
But
like,
at the same time,
you're going to get casual fans, but you're not going to be like, oh God, like I remember getting my first Android or iPhone, and I downloaded OnlyFans, and I'm a BMX rider now. You know what I mean? I feel
like if you're on OnlyFans scrolling, you see some dude on a bike, you're gonna be fucking pissed. It doesn't even work.
This goes back to my joke that I made before we even started. Is that I'd be terrified to download OnlyFans for the sheer fact that if I was at a bar, my girlfriend looked over my shoulder and saw me looking at dudes on OnlyFans. You know what I mean? It would kind of be like one of those I'd have to explain myself.
It's one of those things though, where it's like if the only argument against it doesn't even have an alternative, then maybe we just let it be.
The alternative is outside of the room, is what I'm saying. The alternative is not OnlyFans. It's something else. And I'm not omniscient. I don't know what the answer is, how we fix BMX. I just tell you it's not fucking OnlyFans.
Well, there was that short, brief period of time where Instagram was actually paying riders for views. And I remember a lot of people, especially, I'm not going to name any names, but I have some friends that have a high view count, especially for the companies that they're involved with, that were really excited about that.
So, I want to go back go ahead before I go backwards.
A lot of this, I was reading something recently and it was talking about the old punk rock ethos of don't sell out, blah 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 blah. Whereas at one point, it seemed like there were those avenues to not sell out and hold true and kind of in the long game you're going to make that money, or you're going to however it's going to work out for you. Where nowadays it seems like our culture as a whole is get that bag, get it now, because that opportunity might not be there. So if right now, I guess you can't blame a rider that is going to say hey, OnlyFans is going to pay me guaranteed X amount of monies per month for however long this contract is, whether it's 12 months or whatever. They know it's well, hell, my bills are at least going to be paid. It's so it's I might as well get that money while I can, because there's no guarantee that if I just, if I try to look for something else, which at this point is blue sky and just,
a job,
yeah, exactly. So it's let's say that OnlyFans is going to pay $1,000 a month. That's $12,000 a month pre-taxes that you have right there, guaranteed. Now you've got some other sponsors and whatnot. At least that you have that much to kind of get by on. It's right. If someone walked up to you and said hey, I'm going to give you 12 grand, all you got to do is post your regular BMX content. It's is a BMX company going to pay you that same amount? So we don't know. It's so.
So I want to slightly touch base on an argument to that fact is, how many friends is BMX going to make before we truly get burned by a whole bunch of other companies? Establishing a relationship, whether it be within our own industry or not, we know who's stuck around and who hasn't. And we should, at this point, from any business perspective, is being able to recognize who's actually truly a fan of BMX and wants to make BMX bigger, and who just wants to cash grab on something to get views.
These outside corporations absolutely want to utilize BMX as a tool. But
that's true. But we
need to treat that as a revenue stream and just be grab it, go, take the money, do the thing.
Yeah, it's silly to just
part of me wants to argue do the punk thing, grab the cash right now, and but sustainability for our sport, we desire kinship, almost, where we need to have the respectability of being taken seriously until the end. You know what I mean?
It's taken seriously by who though?
You know what? We've had some outside, I mentioned them before. I'm not going to mention them again, but we've had a couple of larger name brands that dipped into our sport and jumped back out. Nike, every 10 years they come in, they put a few guys on the team, then they dump the team. And then Levi's, they made a fantastic video that is one of the best things. It's a top.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
so
And then they bounce the minute they could have given us a better, and then they like kind of show their face because I think all the Olympic riders were wearing like Levi's jeans as like part of their outfit or whatever.
I have
I
daydreams.
I just truly wish that like we could like Instagram has kind of been very favorable towards BMX. You know what I mean? Like I wish we could create relationships that last more than a concept of what like
More than a sales cycle.
the 12-month contract. Like no, I want some people that are like, hey, we're down for BMX. You guys create content. You've never stopped creating content. You get people on our platform. People want to watch this stuff. Like Brand, even those videos of like the people doing odd things or like incredible things videos that you're in, like that's like a huge thing that happened on Facebook and Instagram. And like they probably are going to keep doing those videos with BMXers because that's like something cool to do. Like we're so new to this conversation that this relationship is so new that this conversation in itself may be even damaging to the concept of it being around for a long period of time.
I think that looking at it that way is the stay core, stay poor mentality, which is fine if that's what you want. But we can't, what I think is like, absolutely yes to everything you said, if that's what you believe. But at the same time, we can't condemn the people who are like, fuck it, man, I'm going to take that money because I got to pay my bills. And I don't care if Etnies isn't around in a year because I need to pay my bills. And I feel like BMX as a whole kind of just feels scorned every time a bigger business makes a business decision. And I think it's a silly way to look at it, to be like, nah, we aren't going to associate with them anymore or take their money because they've treated us badly in the past, even though the reason that they usually leave has to have something to do with the fact that BMXers don't understand the value they have. They don't return on the money that they're given. And they have this
return on the investment.
Yeah, they have this attitude like, I should just be a rider. I shouldn't have to do anything other than ride my bike. And it's like, well, yeah, Etnies is going to leave if all you do is wear their shoes and don't care about promoting them.
So will this avenue sell bikes or will this avenue sell content?
It's going to depend on the people on the platform.
OnlyFans is not selling a single goddamn fucking bike.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
It's like the whole conversation we've had is about going on OnlyFans to pay a rider money to see his content. You're not seeking that out if you don't already have a fucking bike. Like
we don't know that.
Timmy, there's no way. It's born.
This is why I was going to go backwards a little bit because you guys talked about no new riders are going to be coming from this. I think it's partially also because BMX hasn't done moves like this to create casual fans who are never going to ride. We need to create fans like people who watch football. And I know people are going to hate me for saying this, but if you don't like that, if you don't like it, just ignore them. But if we want to sustain and have people buying, like we need to have people who don't ever ride a bike in their life, but want to buy the Garrett Reynolds shirt because they're like, fuck yeah, I watched him ride. He's sick. And I look at his page and I'm never going to ride a bike, but I'm a fan of that. And these bigger organizations, I keep talking about it because the NBA, the NFL, the UFC, these are organizations that help the people under them. And the bigger organizations understand how to sell those things to normies. And we need to take advantage of that because some will ride, some won't, but at least it'll put money into everybody's pocket if that happens.
Yeah.
So what you're looking for is mid-2000s skateboard mentality.
Yeah.
You want the general public to think this is cool. I want to associate with that. So you have a kid that can't ollie to save his life wearing all the stuff from Zoomies because it's cool. They're wearing the Element t-shirts. They got a Spitfire board, whatever.
And real quick, Geoff,
whatever it is.
I gotta
And it's because
respond.
it's selling to the general public, because we can sell all the BMX t-shirts in the world to everybody in our little clique, and guess what? That doesn't matter. It's like you need to sell to, like, red, white, and blue America.
It's just not going to grow that way. It's
got to go past T-shirts too. Like the thing with the
Right.
NBA or the NFL, they've got ticket sales. Even the skateboarding you were talking about, like
what's that $4 video? That's a ticket to watch that video.
We're talking $4 versus a $91 nosebleed seat.
I get
Even
it.
The skateboards, like kids bought skateboards to ride to and from school or fucking carry around the mall. There's $100.
Yes, mall carry.
and to respond to Kevin real quick, so Geoff can say what he was going to say. I know I'm going to get crucified in DMs and group chats for saying that, but that is the kind of thing that can actually help sustain riders. If you have random normies who are like, hell yeah, Garrett Reynolds is sick, I'm going to buy some Fiend shirts and I'm going to ride around a Fiend complete instead of a Walmart bike because I'm that big of a fan, then that's going to put more money into the company's pockets, which then like what Noah was trying to say, trickles down to the riders. And that just helps BMX. As horrible as some people are going to feel like that sounds.
Fuck a group chat. You're going to get crucified now, you poser.
We need more posers in BMX.
I'd rather divert all that traffic that you just talked about to your YouTube channel.
That'd be awesome. That would be sick.
You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather, like, it's just one of those, like, it comes down to the principle of I lost my train of thought here, but I'm just having one of those where it's like
you can't get over the fact that it's OnlyFans.
Well, like, and it's also like it is OnlyFans. It's not. I don't have to get over it. You know what I mean? Like, this is going to be one of those things that, like, I'm still not going to download it tomorrow, even if it gets headwind. I'm still going to be on the fence about downloading it later down the road. And then also on top of it, I also use like Instagram to follow my friends. You know what I mean? Not even just riders, like people I went to high school with. I'm not going to do that on OnlyFans. Like, it's not like a platform where I'm going to be able to use socially, except for
you don't want to see what your high school friends are liking on OnlyFans.
I should have said you can't.
High school friends are doing on OnlyFans.
Geoff, I should have said you can't get past the fact that it's OnlyFans, not over. Like that's the hang up for you. It's like, I love all of this if it was just something else.
Well, I mean, like, then at that point, it's just only BMX.
That's what someone should make. And Noah, if you kept doing The Scene's Not Dead and did all your ideas, you'd freaking have it.
We did, and we killed it. It was called Direct BMX.
Yeah, you just didn't make it.
We're gonna blame Noah for all this now?
No. I'm just saying, if he stuck with it, he'd already have the platform to give as the alternative.
I had some pretty Bezos ideas a couple years ago, and then I crashed out, started swinging hammers again.
I think the ultimate consensus is we can get on board with the concepts. It's just this specific platform, and I don't personally care at all, but I can see some people can't really get past the fact that the platform is what it is and it's associated with what it is.
So the punk kid in me wants to say, do the cash grab. These people want to show interest in it, and they think that we're going to add value to their platform via adding value from giving value to the riders that we would love to support. Absolutely. I'm kind of indifferent about the whole thing because, to be dead honest, it's not going to really change my life whatsoever. But ultimately, do I want to see riders do better? Yes. Are they going to do that on that platform? Maybe so for X amount of time, and unless it becomes. Did you just put glasses on, you fucking nerd?
What is your train of thought? How can you not finish a sentence?
Wow.
I'm just having one of those where, like, yes, I'm kind of excited for this forefront to happen, but if it's gonna be like, I don't know if it's gonna work out the way that we like. I don't know if this concept is gonna work out for the way everybody's thinking that it's going to be.
Yeah, so if BMX just packed up all its shit and moved to OnlyFans overnight, wake up tomorrow, nobody's on Instagram, like, I'm just not seeing BMX on my phone anymore, to be completely honest with you. Like, there's no.
I just wait for Project X2 or, the next Dig magazine to come out, or, you know what I mean? Like, there are going to be other media platforms that are. It's just I wish Garrett the best, Alex Donahue the best. Like, any mountain biker that's on it, absolutely. Like, thank you for giving a minute to action sports that are on two wheels to, like, think that we're going to bring value to your platform. But I'm completely indifferent on how long it's going to last and how long I would consider supporting it.
So, Noah, to respond to
Mainly
your...
because I can't also, I'm sorry.
You're good.
Brent,
Finish
real
your
quick.
thought.
I also can't, I can't join in on this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is going to be like right now, like I can't make one tomorrow and be like, holy crap, Noah, pack your bags because Tech Bike Co's going to Barcelona tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like that's it.
So
that's never, I'm never going to be able to participate.
That's what I'm hearing. So
I'm never going to be able to participate in like the platform that is supporting other riders because I'm just like never going to be able to produce the amount of media that these guys that can, like one of the reasons I would probably be against this is just the lack of rider participation.
So, Noah, you said a comment of if BMX packed all of its stuff and moved to OnlyFans tomorrow, your lack of seeing it in your feed and whatever. I would make the argument that if BMX did do that and at that same time, zero money came from the industry, like all money coming from companies got cut off, what you would find is that over time, the only people who could make it as professional riders are the people who actually bring value to the people and that people want to support. Whereas today, it's not quite that.
Yeah.
Then how do we support the up and comer?
That would be it. It would be the up and comers making such crazy stuff on their fan supported page that people are like, oh my God, I need to see this dude and check out what he's doing. And then through that, actual up and comers, instead of just friends of pros on companies' teams, end up being the next generation of people who make it.
So a couple things. Is that like a good thing though?
I don't know. I was just saying.
Right. Yeah. No, like I agree with you. That is what happens. But like, doesn't that just kind of like turbocharge our whole oversaturation thing?
No, because there's only so much money to go around.
Not if you have an OnlyFans.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. As you guys have said in here, like I don't have the money to support everyone. So then you would be picking and choosing if you even support anyone on there.
Right.
And everyone else who has to go there to consume their BMX content would be making those decisions. And in part, that would be deciding who can make it, who gets to up and come. And it takes away the gatekeeping and the friendships that lead to sponsorships for people who may not actually be suited for those roles.
Well,
Right,
I'm doing that on.
In our
I'm
thought
doing that on
experiment
three.
here, in our thought experiment here, there's no industry. That's why.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
it's an interesting thought experiment.
Right.
I'm already doing that. I'm already doing that on 3 other platforms, though.
But that's the thing is we're in our thought experiment. Like the industry would fold because the money wouldn't be coming in from the top. Everybody getting pumped up would be getting pumped up through
fan supported platforms. Right. We're just saying
so
that.
Right. That's when I had the idea, the oversaturation idea. I was going back to what I was bitching about earlier.
It's an interesting thought experiment because it really would eliminate gatekeeping and unlike warranted support.
It would change what it means to be pro.
Nothing's ever going to get rid of gatekeeping. So
because it's down to the people and not the companies and the people of power within the industry.
The people that are
Yeah, but
gatekeeping wouldn't even fucking, you wouldn't
the
hear them.
but the algorithm's going to gatekeep you, though. That's the thing. It's like there's always going to be some barrier. So
This is
I don't know if there
OnlyFans
is an
doesn't
algorithm.
work like I think.
So what would
doesn't
we
work
do with
like
what would we
Instagram,
do
right?
with like the Jordan Hangos of BMX?
He'd probably do all right.
Yeah, he would do what he does now, and people would pay to see it because they want to see it.
It would change. Yeah, it would change what being a pro rider means 100%.
Honestly, I think that concept has been changing. And
Then why would bike companies even bother to pay riders?
now, Geoff, you weren't listening. I said in our thought experiment that companies don't pay riders in this experiment of thinking.
listen harder, Geoff.
The whole concept from what I said was if everything moved over to a fan-supported platform and companies no longer paid riders, what would happen is that gatekeeping and unwarranted just friend hookups wouldn't happen because it would just be people picking and choosing with their money who makes it.
Then
Or who can
what
make it.
what would get a kid into BMX then?
I don't know. I'm just saying it's an interesting
You know
thought
what I mean?
experiment.
Like what especially with like the Nitro Circus tricks and like the Olympian events and
well,
like
the industry doesn't prop those up.
What would keep a kid from having access to want to do that besides slowly like growing up the ranks and making it?
That still happens because those aren't industry supported things. Those happen independently of the industry.
But how are they going to do that on OnlyFans when they have riders that are going to get paid to be pushed in your algorithm?
I don't think there's an algorithm here. I think it's just you find who you find, how you find them, and you word of mouth or whatever it is. And in this, it would be, there is no like free whatever. It would be the Olympics has a supported page.
That goes into having like what is that when people have like hospital bills and stuff like that? I don't think I'd have the guts to walk up to somebody in the bar and be like, "Oh yeah, you should follow me on OnlyFans because I ride bikes."
When guys have hospital bills, when they have hospital bills and vans to fix and shit like that, yeah.
Oh Jesus Christ! So
I mean, yeah, you could comfortably go up to somebody in the skate park and be like, "Yo, man, what's your Instagram?" And be like, follow me. And be like, if I walked up to some like random kid and fucking Changa and was like, "Hey, what's your OnlyFans?" Would be like,
"Yo, follow me on OnlyFans."
That's weird.
It's an
maybe it's the connotation. We haven't even looked at that. And maybe it's just the connotation of the platform as it is now.
Yes, it's like, it's interesting.
Who says in like, in 10 years it's going to be like, oh, it's like, I have this and that on OnlyFans, or it's like, I mean, you guys are probably too young. You guys are too young to remember cable, but it's like, HBO used to be like,
hey.
It's funny though.
OnlyFans, like, let's say Kick did this.
Instagram has this though, but Instagram has this exact thing. It's not on a web page, and it's like in their app, but you can have a subscription service on Instagram. I don't know exactly how it works or what you can make with it or put on it, but it does exist.
Right.
And I think what this is leading to as a whole, not just BMX, but everything, is these individual subscription things are going to get built even further into like Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and whatever. And it just becomes a way to vote for what you want to keep existing with your money.
But isn't like the writing on the wall right there with what you just said? Like, if it's in the platform we're already using and nobody's using it, why the fuck is it going to work on OnlyFans? It's the same thing, just I got to click a different button now.
Because it's not for us. They have their reasoning.
But it's going to be for us on OnlyFans?
I'm just, I'm saying...
It keeps putting the ownage on the individual versus like Facebook paying this individual because they're generating content or they're generating views. It's like, it's basically absolving like the corporations from having any responsibility. It's like, well, we shouldn't have to pay this person because their fans are going to pay them directly. It's like they should make content for us,
What it feels like Well, what it feels
Thanks,
like
Geoff.
is it feels just like a brand awareness campaign by OnlyFans, and it feels like they may not even care what the end result is from Garrett Reynolds or Devin Smiley riding for them. It feels like they just are trying to put something out there that like, hey, we're not only for tits.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Whoa!
Ooh.
Sorry.
OnlyFans does not give a shit about us. That's for sure.
Exactly. And it's so I don't think this is meant for us. It might be a couple people popping in here and there.
Well, I feel like Instagram is the better case. Like if I put out a trick that's like mind-boggling compared to anything else in BMX, like those views are going to go up and it's going to show that I have intrinsic value to a brand, especially if I'm riding their product. Now we're moving over to like, what if some of this content doesn't have any true value? Like we don't know what we're going to get out of these riders.
That was my point
You know
of
what I mean? It's-
the whole thought experiment is
So
that it
what's-
elevates the people who everyone else decides should be at the top.
I also feel like this is kind of like
the view count expectation, you know? What's the eyeball expectation? I guess a lot of this stuff is very clandestine. It's like where you don't actually know. Like, I mean, Brant, we know you have however many subscribers you have. I'm sorry, I don't know. Off the top of
Doesn't
my
matter.
head.
It doesn't matter. Four.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, where is that corporate determination of like this person has X amount of guaranteed eyeballs on them per day, per post, per whatever?
That's where
It's
my
like,
OnlyFans argument actually makes sense marketing wise and value wise, because this, if we don't even know that this is what the plan is for BMX riders who are officially affiliated with OnlyFans, but if it is a pay to watch and edit thing, then what that is going to show companies is, like corporate companies, is X amount of people wanted to see it so bad they paid for it. And that was where I brought up the argument of like, if 10,000 people paid to watch something, then it's easier to take that data to a corporate company and work a deal than it is to be like, hey, this platform of Instagram that's full of bots and whatever else and randomness of the algorithm, it's harder to take those numbers, and those numbers mean less. And I think that's why the subscription thing on Instagram doesn't even work. It's because you can go on there already and see anything you want for free. And it's like, what are you going to give me on this platform that I've been on for 15 years, getting everything for free that I don't, or like, you're going to really have to convince me to subscribe to you on Instagram. But
and why is it not the same thing on OnlyFans? Like, I'm not.
well, you missed
Well,
you missed the
Well, it
first
seems
part
like
of
it
that.
is. There is free content. You can subscribe for free. There probably will be, but there'll probably also be monetized content, and then you get to probably pick and choose if you actually want to watch that content or not.
They have
Also,
a free
if you
link
wanna
and a
do a quick
spicy
cut,
link.
And Noah, you could have earned us a lot more views if you weren't wearing shorts. So
It's just like
Gotta go to my OnlyFans for that.
the whole concept of using views from Instagram to try and work deals doesn't even, like, I've done this stuff. Companies, the views have to be so crazy that companies, like, they don't care unless it reaches a certain threshold, and it's like a large percentage of what you're doing gets that view count because it's so oversaturated even on Instagram. And that's why it does make sense that, like, if you can convert on a different platform with a large amount of people, then it would be easier to take those numbers and translate those to a deal with a brand.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
It does
But
make
also,
sense.
do those views, do those clicks and interactions translate into dollars? And I know that's something coming, like, I have a bit of a corporate background and stuff like that, and it's like, I was always kind of curious as to, like, okay, you've got all this interaction, where do we see like the dollars to donuts? Do we, it's like, because this post got 10,000 likes, did we see any actual increase? Was there any blip in the profit margins.
Where that works,
It's like,
so I can give you the explanation for that on a platform like YouTube, because YouTube has the advertising ad revenue split between the creators and YouTube already implemented. So like, unless OnlyFans or another fan support platform has ads that are just like on YouTube, unless there's advertising, it would have to be a situation of company. It would be a deal with either the platform itself or a different company, and you have whatever your deal is, your shirt, your sticker, whatever it is, of you reach this amount of views, we'll pay you this amount. So unless there's an advertising, like whatever avenue, like
place,
unless there's a highway for advertising built into this platform, there is no way to make dollars into donuts or whatever you said without a deal like that.
I got a couple things. So yeah, like OnlyFans could have AdSense, but they'd call it like ass sense. I think that'd be funny. And then,
I got
sounds like a scratch and sniff thing, bro.
Oh.
then,
All right, I'm shutting it down. It's over.
the other thing, I think Brant, you might have said this just with better words, but I think like what you were kind of saying is like 10,000 views on Instagram is worth a lot less than 10,000 views on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
And if that translates to OnlyFans, like if you get 1,000 likes on Instagram, that means fucking nothing. But 1,000 likes on OnlyFans, I said 1,000 likes on Instagram probably means a lot less than 1,000 likes on OnlyFans.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. That's exactly
you have
what
a
I'm saying.
You have a paid clientele versus a free clientele.
Not even just paid, because like Garrett's page is free to subscribe to, but you had to, like, that wasn't shot to your eyeballs,
Right.
because
You had to go out of your
you
way to get there. And that is called a conversion in that world.
Mhm.
And that conversion is going to be worth more, as you're saying, because of the effort, and the person who's willing to put that effort in is more likely to see an advertisement in the video or hear you talking about, or whatever, sticker on your bike, shirt, whatever it is. They're more likely to take an action from that than on Instagram, where it's just 10,000 views of people just doom scrolling like this versus having to put the effort in to actually get there on a different platform.
Yeah. What a
Have
fucking
the courage to actually download the platform.
I thought
apparently Geoff is not brave. So
all right, here's what I'm gonna do.
I'm not brave.
I'm going to
download OnlyFans.
I'm not downloading it. I'm opening an incognito window on the computer that I'm the only person who uses, and I'm going.
Oh, you know that incognito mode is bullshit. Come on.
Well, it makes me feel better. Okay. I'm going to go to the website. I'm going to find Garrett.
It's the plus. It's
Oh, you have to log in?
I wish I actually had the courage to like look up Garrett's OnlyFans before this conversation started.
I'm looking it up right now.
I'm sure it's in his link tree. You got to go to his page. And
I'm Google searching it.
Screen share.
I don't know how, dude.
so I don't have to log into it on my computer.
I'm about to. Jesus, how far do I have to go for this?
I got more courage to sit down.
I think you have to go all the way, Brant.
I might.
You got to send him a
have to
picture of
make
your
an
driver's
account.
license.
No, I might just.
There's no going back, baby.
I might actually have to make an account. We'll see.
Just use Noah's information.
It's hold on. Hold the phone. All right.
What?
I can't screen share, but actually I can. I can screen share. What am I talking about? Let me figure this out real quick. Screen share.
Are we premature for this conversation to actually be happening? Because none of us actually have an OnlyFans.
Kind of. That's why I'm doing this.
I think.
All right,
that,
here you
that
go.
might end after. That
Check
might
this
end
out.
after tonight. So
Check it. Wait. Oh, what's going on? You guys' cameras.
that's
went
okay.
off.
We can see it.
So when you scroll down in there and you click on it, it says sensitive content. This may contain content not appropriate for all audiences.
Oh, we're gonna break this stream.
I'm
Click
just
done.
no, I'm clicking continue. All right, here we are. I'm gonna shut you guys down. Okay. Professional BMX rider, comedy lover, animal person, sports and fitness, Instagram link, bunch of other stuff. Subscribe for free. So
Okay.
it's a fly out ledge clip, organic spot. So it looks like it's just posting clips at this
Click
point.
the link, bro. Be brave.
What? I don't need to. This is literally just clips from him riding.
I said click the link, bro.
What link?
Oh,
It's
I
a
don't
link
know.
tree.
your screen froze.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on right now. Can you not
There
see
you
me
go.
anymore?
I can see you now.
We can see it now. It's a time, man. I
There,
can't
how's
see
this?
me.
Does this
Oh,
work?
there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't see me either. I don't know. It's
You
so,
gotta click your thingy and make you see you.
So here's the page.
So it's directbmx.com. It just says OnlyFans.
No,
now.
it's literally just clips so far. There's nothing else on here.
Is it our BMX but just rebranded?
You don't know that there's a locks. They're locked, dude.
Yeah,
Those-
but it would
those-
tell you that there was something,
Maybe Jeff
and it's
Z is
6
a
seconds
photographer,
long.
so who knows?
It's
I don't
literally
know,
6
dude.
seconds, 5 seconds.
Those captions.
this
Those
is a
captions
photo.
seem a little. They seem kind of horny. dude.
14 seconds, 23 seconds. So
Just have
How many-
fun.
definitively,
How many seconds do you need? You know,
okay, I feel like you can definitively say that up until this point, it's just riding clips. I don't know what they are.
until they start asking for more.
You don't use the purple emoji with horns unless there's nudity in the video. It's all.
You're speaking like a pro there, Noah.
Either way, I feel like we have
No
had-
OnlyFans.
So let's boil this down into some conclusions. Eat one at a time, no interrupting. I want to hear who's going first. Rock, paper, scissors.
Nose goes.
Nose goes. Nose goes. You guys don't know the game?
Jeff, you're going.
One
first.
of you touch your nose. Okay, fine. Jeff's first.
So I'm indifferent about the whole thing. I kind of want to see where it goes, especially for BMX. You know, at this point, we've had enough shenanigans go on with outside companies kind of jumping in and making promises that they can or can't keep. Who knows? Hopefully, all these riders that get invited on the platform do well. I mean, ultimately, because I don't see any participation or like a concept of me possibly gaining any kind of extra avenues for myself monetarily. I don't see myself participating in this. But if it's a good thing for BMX, I want it to be a good thing for BMX.
Fair. Noah, fine. Closing conclusions from you.
Yeah.
That was funny,
I'm
Jeff.
glad that Garrett's got the OnlyFans money. I mean, love to see riders get money. Not a fan of OnlyFans. I don't want them in our space. I guess I don't want them's kind of like aggressive language. I could care less. I'm never going over there. It feels very weed mapsy to me. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Why are you here? So
Yeah.
all in all, I think there won't be a rider on the platform by January. I bet you by January it's not in anybody's bio anymore, and it was kind of like a, hey, you remember that thing? That's my guess. So.
Okay. Kevin.
Looking at it from a cold, corporate standpoint, I'm going to say, like, if someone is offered the opportunity to take the money and run with it for a 12-month contract, do it. I mean, what's the difference between that and rando energy drink, deciding to say, like, hey, we're going to throw you money for this? I mean, that being said, like, if Jeff decided to get an Instagram, or not Instagram, if Jeff decided to get an OnlyFans, I would
He froze.
Oh, no.
totally pay for that.
That was really funny. All right. So my conclusion on this is I think that fan supported platforms are something that I want to see grow and happen more often in BMX. If Garrett and Devin and whoever else being on OnlyFans is the catalyst for that, I think that will end up being a good thing for those people. And that if anything good for BMX as a whole comes from that, it is going to be down to the person and what they do with that platform. And that we can't, just like with the Olympics or any other contest, we can't, as BMX, we can't expect for the existence of this thing to just inherently help our whole entire thing. We can't expect, hold on, no interrupting. We can't expect this thing's existence to help all of us without somebody putting the legwork in. That's my conclusion.
Fair enough.
It's just the way it feels with everything. It takes effort. You have to put the work in, and you can't just expect that it, because it exists, it should help everything without anyone having to do anything to make that happen.
You just brought up a very valid point to me of also like, look at how many platforms right now that BMX is trying to support. You know, like look at the Olympics, and then like look at we have X Games coming back with like a very unique program towards trying to like pushing riders and creating stories, and like how are we too spread thin right now to allow OnlyFans to become more of a necessity?
I think that if this gets pushed out, it's going to be no different than the way people looked at YouTube, the way people look at Rezzies, the way people look at these things that at first they're hated on, like mountain bikes. Everybody wanted to hate on mountain bikes. They still want to hate on mountain bikes and scooters and bike life stuff. They want to hate on these avenues that there are potential ways to help BMX before that. Then by the time that it's realized, YouTube as the prime example, by the time that it's realized that it was possible for that thing to help BMX, it's too late. The boat's been missed. Now every single company has a YouTube page and they're trying to post stuff on it. When if instead of hating on Adam LZ, companies and people just embraced it and did it their own way, there'd be way more Adam LZ's and Scotty Kramer YouTube channels out there that would be bringing in new people to BMX to help it as a whole.
I mean, Stranger kind of did support him, and they fucking died because of it. Like
that was definitely.
It was not related.
That was
oh no, it definitely wasn't everybody leaving.
That was
team.
not. That wasn't YouTube's fault. That was Stranger not talking to the people on their own team before adding the dude to their team.
Yeah.
I have one.
Shout out to the team being coarse. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, for real though, they were.
How many people do you know riding Stranger right now?
Well, that's a great point. And if Adam LZ had stayed on there and all the company people on the team was like, okay, let's see what happens. Who knows if Stranger would still be big.
I remember when that happened, being like a little grommet. I mean, I guess I was a teenager, but I just remember being like, fuck yeah, dude.
So I have a final question for everybody.
Yeah.
I want Noah's answer last.
Okay.
What if people like Garrett, Devin, your favorite riders go to OnlyFans? What would it take for you to hit the download button on the app and subscribe for free to their page? What would it actually take for you to get beyond that, oh, it's OnlyFans feeling? Noah, you're last. Either one of you.
I mean, ultimately, it would take maybe a time of change to making downloading the app a little bit more socially acceptable without me looking like a pervert.
That's
You know
what
what I
it would
mean? Like
take.
just having one of those where like, oh yeah, like I'm on OnlyFans because I have friends that are on there and I like to be on there. Like right now, I think with the recognition of the actual app for even if it's second generation of like, you know, I joked about before we even started, like I wouldn't want it on my phone for the sheer fact if I was, at the pub in between dart games and I opened up OnlyFans to see what the newest Garrett Reynolds trick was, and my girlfriend looked over my shoulder, having to explain that. Like
So, follow up question, real quick, before we go to Kevin. You said from a psychological standpoint and a societal standpoint, what would a rider have to do in order for you to get past that? Would it only, like, even if it was acceptable
so
or it wasn't
so if I
acceptable?
was gonna subscribe to it, it'd have to be like ender footage. Like if somebody was on there and they were like, if I saw, fuck it, like TJ Henderson doing a trick that I've never seen TJ doing before. You know what I mean? Or like a Rob Ridge doing like some combo that even at his age now would be mind blowing compared to, or Sato being on there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'd probably be more prone to like leaning towards its direction, but like other than that, like I get all of my media from the 3 or 4 platforms I'm already on.
That's fair. I was just curious because you did kind of answer from like a different avenue than what I was even thinking, which is totally fine. I was just curious to get both. So
And,
Kevin,
and,
oh,
and I
go
like
ahead.
I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that this conversation, like, hopefully I'm proved wrong later down the road. But until then, like, I'm not 100% like what Noah said. Like, I'm not pretty much in the avenue of like having them enter our realm yet at all until maybe there's like some changes made to make using OnlyFans more socially acceptable.
Fair enough. What do you think, Kevin? What would it take for you to download and go on it? It'd be
Well, to
hilarious if he just
piggyback,
went and there was the OnlyFans app on his phone.
yeah, that'd be great, but I'd have to hold up my phone, which is what I'm recording on right now. To piggyback on kind of like Geoff's, thing there, it's like I basically Instagram is my main feed for things at this point. Like Facebook, I took a step back from like a number of years ago. I mean, I'm on there occasionally, like usually when I'm sitting here doing this, and it's basically out of sheer boredom. I'm checking uh, like marketplace and stuff like that, or like checking out things if somebody sends a link. So I'm already checking maybe 2 like social media platforms on a daily basis, which is like that's enough. Like, do I need to go to another one for something just specifically BMX? Where on Instagram I'm getting my BMX fix, I'm getting like some like cool stuff with like toys and anime and frogs and whatnot. Like, am I gonna get that same experience from downloading OnlyFans? Am I only gonna get BMX? Is it worth downloading it just to get BMX?
So
So
you've asked a whole bunch of questions without answering the question.
yeah, I know. It's like
Boy, you're on
for
You're a
yeah,
politician right now.
Participation. Like if I feel like
yeah.
I can't participate in the actual app, then why am I viewing it for through a third party?
Yeah. So
Right. Why? Yeah.
Kevin, what
Exactly.
would it take?
Why would you be a passive, a passive observer? Whereas Instagram, I can post clips and have Geoff be stoked on it, and then I can see a clip from Geoff and be stoked on Jeff's clip. So
So
I guess it's the back and forth is what we desire more than the passive. That's what I desire
It's
more. I desire more the interaction versus the passive viewing.
so are you saying
this is less of a social media app.
yeah.
Social. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
here just to view. I want to participate. I want to have the inkling.
You want to
that one day I'm gonna-
be a voyeur versus a participant.
So
Yeah, I want to be able to participate in the sport that I care so much about.
that's fair, but that still doesn't answer the question. Kevin, is what you're saying for you to do it, them adding a social media aspect would have to happen?
It would have to be more like an Instagram where there's a curated feed for me.
So they have likes, and it looks like they also have comments.
Okay.
just what I'm seeing from the actual page.
They have group
itself.
chats.
I have no idea, but it sounds like your answer. So what would it? That's another answer that's not from the rider's perspective. Like, what would it take from a rider for you to be like, okay, I need to see that. I'm gonna download it and I'm gonna look at it.
Maybe okay. From a rider perspective, I mean, I'm a huge Eric Elstrand's fanboy, so it's like I like his shit. It's cool. I would like to see more behind the scenes stuff. If it gave me a window into what's happening behind, let me see the stuff that didn't work. Let me see, the thought process behind things, or them walking up to a spot and kind of explaining. It's like I see this here, and kind of like, here's what I'm thinking of doing, and it's like, here's what worked in the past. Like maybe more of that behind the scenes stuff, kind of like the old DVD extras. Like if you were getting more of that, I hate to say intimate look because that sounds like you're asking for stuff, but it's like, but if you're getting more of that intimate, like behind the scenes kind of view of like things, you're not just seeing like Jeff's banger, you're seeing all the stuff that led up to it. Again,
intimate look.
I'm working with a lot of double entendres here, but it's like
What?
I think you get where I'm coming from.
So in a Instagram video series to describe what you're saying, you want to see the in between.
Oh.
Yes.
That's
Look
Oh,
at
yeah.
this guy.
but that's a real thing, and that's why that page in those videos, that's why those videos are so damn good, because it's captured what everybody else experiences in the in between. It's the between the crazy stuff that only the pros get to even.
I want to see the B-roll. Damn it! Give me the B-roll.
You want to see the B-hole?
B-roll. B-roll.
All right, Noah. You've had a lot of time to hear answers and develop your own. I want to hear what it would take for you.
Yeah. So just up front, realistically, it would take OnlyFans not being OnlyFans. Just, it's been discussed.
But as OnlyFans, as it is, you have to answer the question.
I know. I'm getting there. Theoretically, right? I have a couple ideas here. So first off, I think that this platform was basically tailor-made for Dr. David. I'm surprised he's not already on there.
Let's find out.
I mean, you're telling me that there's a platform where he can ride his bike with his dick out. It seems like a match made. The other thing, I think if tomorrow Stu Johnson got on the horn and he was like, yeah, Anthem 3 comes out on OnlyFans tomorrow for $15, I'd download that app so fucking fast.
And
like, take my money.
Yeah.
Is that the answer?
I'm still probably.
I just
not
don't
gonna
want to cut
it,
you off.
But I'm kind of a dickhead, so I'm probably still not going to download it. But that would be the level of thing that would have to happen. Like, Little Devil would have to be like Seek and Destroy 2 OnlyFans tomorrow night. I'd think about it. I'd be like, oh shit. I'd think about it.
I feel like it's almost weird that there hasn't been a Patreon or something like that for a video maker to have a fan supported video that only gets to happen through that. It's interesting. I want to give my answer. Oh man. Even hearing all of your answers, being realistic, and then I'll answer it. Being realistic, I think with how much of a BMX video hermit I am, even if everything I could ever want was on the platform, I probably still wouldn't download it, just because the only reason I watch videos is for the news, or if something comes out that's like, holy crap, I need to see that right now. I think
you're only on for the nudes. What?
So nobody here is a part of the demographic.
Well, I didn't get to give an actual answer, like what it would take for me to go on and download the OnlyFans page right now. I think it would take something kind of like what Noah said, of if Stu said Anthem 3 is gonna end up on OnlyFans. That's the only place you can see it. I think it would take something like a conglomerate of people coming together to be like a tech.
Swamp Fest is only viewed on OnlyFans.
No, like a tech. Hold on, everyone else got the answer uninterrupted. So
Don't interrupt.
So I think it would take a conglomerate of people who are like tech, lip trick style, like Tom Justice, Scotty Kramer in his prime, Rob Ridge, TJ Henderson, like coming together to make a page that's like every single week we're going to post a video of all of us like riding. It's going to be an edit. It's going to be a game of bike. It's going to be whatever it might be. And the only place you can watch that is on our together made OnlyFans page. That is what it would probably take for me to be like, okay, I'll download it and then I'll actually use it.
So Brant, if you make a Lip Lords OnlyFans, I will download the app to subscribe to the Lip Lords OnlyFans.
Do you want to run it?
only if it's free. Sorry, I got a budget for that.
The name Lip Lords fits the app.
It's
Yeah, we probably
perfect.
get
It
some
probably already
outside
exists.
viewers for that.
It probably
Yeah.
already exists.
Lip Lords.
No, but yeah, I mean, I think that's what it would take.
I have one of those shirts around here somewhere. Where the fuck is that?
That's so funny. But
Uh,
ultimately, I think the conclusion that we've all landed on, yes, I can't say all of us because I really couldn't give a shit less, is that the platform it's on is a huge hang up. If it was a different platform, if Garrett was like, hey guys, I'm now sponsored by Patreon, you guys would be like, I'm on board. I could make a Patreon account and I wouldn't have a
I don't
problem.
know
almost
about
the
on-
opposite.
I
Almost
don't know
the
about
opposite.
on board.
Yeah, because it's like to me, it's not like the fact that it's OnlyFans doesn't help. It's the fact that like the only reason we're talking about this is because it's OnlyFans. If it were Kick or Patreon or whatever, like I would have never even thought about it. Definitely not downloaded.
That's kind of my point. Like you wouldn't
It would be a
care as much.
non-discussion. Maybe because it's OnlyFans. That's why. What that's there's what is the saying? Like there's no bad press.
Yeah.
No bad publicity. That's exactly right.
No bad
It's-
publicity.
You're
Yep.
getting
Probably
2
get-
hours of free. Garrett Reynolds, you're welcome. I'll send you an invoice.
Yeah, it's probably going to work out better than if it were on a socially acceptable platform because this is the only way people give a shit. Like,
Yeah.
Well, here,
the
let
con-
me
Let's make
let
people
me
talk about
let me
it,
add
so.
Garrett into this real quick. Let me,
That's funny.
Oh, look at you flexing.
That's funny.
good. Like,
But it does. It kind of makes the point that like the whole entire thing is the fact that it's OnlyFans, and if it was anything else, none of us would have cared at all to even have a 20-minute conversation, let alone 2 hours.
Let's say 20 minutes. This is 2 hours.
Yeah, but we've covered a lot of really good
I'm
ground
not
here.
getting this time back. So
We talked about a lot of really good subjects that I think if people listen to this, like it's an actually constructive conversation, and we're not just on here bitching about it or being negative for the sake of being negative. Like it's a real conversation that it could have the potential to help move things forward if people hear our perspectives and then think about their own perspective.
I want to know what Rooftop thinks about fucking BMX OnlyFans.
he's probably on it already. It's probably like, oh, Ford Bronco kills it. Yeah.
he was making that outside money. Well, remember the Strangers in Dangers? That was like, or Strangers in Danger. That was him and
Yeah.
Catfish making that outside money. You
It's
know,
gonna be Strangers and OnlyFans next.
Only
well, it could be
strangers.
Strangers in Danger still.
Only
so, you know.
strangers.
Only strangers.
Only Strangers.
I don't know.
Only Strangers would actually be a better platform.
He's got like an hour of footage on the internet bitching about peg bonks, dude. There's no way he's pro OnlyFans.
We can
He
only
might
hope
do a
to
couple
find
of
out.
peg bonks for a few bucks, though.
Oh my gosh. If that's what it would take to get some of these guys to really push it and ride again, is like that could be a thing.
Hey, man, I feel like the over 30 and especially the over 40 crowd has received so much love this year alone.
Yeah.
So at that point, you want to get an OnlyFans, do your thing.
Geoff,
I'm only more upset.
tell me-
I'm only more upset that I won't be able to I couldn't win the potential internet lottery via participating in this website.
Jeff,
I don't know.
$2.99, and you get Osato footage.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. If it was,
your
I said it
credit card,
earlier.
your credit card would be swiped so fast.
And you know what? Osato deserves it.
Yep, exactly. So,
Oh man.
yeah.
All right, boys. We're at 2 hours.
Sorry.
I wanna cut this one off here. We had an awesome conversation, and I'm excited to do another one of these next time we do it. Hopefully we can have something this engaging to talk about.
Yeah, there's a lot of over talking tonight.
Nah, not too bad.
It was good.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible.
You ever watch the
Yeah.
sports recap show? They talk over each other all the time.
Jeff was doing it on purpose. Either way, we're going to do this again. So you'll find it in the same place, but maybe not the same time. And all the people on here's Instagrams are on screen. Follow them if you care. Support their OnlyFans pages that I'm going to go now make for them.
Oh, that's right. We gotta start dropping trout now, right?
Already make for me. I started one while we were on this call.
All right.
I gotta get Tech Bico to Barcelona. If you guys want to send money to send Tech Bico to Barcelona, please hit my Patreon.
Do it.
Guys, yeah. Anyway, have a good night, everybody.
Good night.